people ask me all the time, what's the difference between a will and a trust? And the way that I like to explain this is, if you pass away and you don't have anything in writing, then in order to distribute your stuff, somebody's got to go to probate court and get a judge to look through your things and direct where they go. And the judge is basically retitling your assets to somebody else's name. And when they do that in probate, if you don't have anything in writing, they're going to follow a statutory scheme. Sometimes this works out the way that you would want, because it does prefer personal relationships, things like spouses and kids. But for a lot of people, especially in blended families or with wayward kids or things like that, that statutory scheme doesn't match your wishes exactly. So what happens when you have a will? Well, when you have a will, you can document where you want your things to go. But what a lot of people don't realize is that just because you've documented them where you want to go in a will, that still has to go to probate, because they haven't been retitled out of your name into other people's names. So now what the judge does is looks over the will in probate, make sure that things go where they are supposed to go according to the will. Probate isn't great for a lot of reasons, but one thing is it can take a long time. Another thing is that it's public. So because it's in court, there's public court records, and that can attract people to contest it, and it can also attract creditors. While you're in probate, your assets are oftentimes kind of locked up, and so it can be a big burden on the family to try to get all this settled. So why do people use trusts? Well, what a trust does is it's kind of like setting up a small business. You're setting up a little entity here, and then we're going to title your assets into that entity, or you could describe it as like a bucket, and we're going to put things inside the bucket. By titling them out of your personal name and into the name of your trust during your lifetime, when you pass away, those assets don't have to be retitled. The only thing that changes is who manages the trust, and it would go from you or you and your spouse, eventually to your kids or some other independent party that you trust. So this is the difference between a trust and a will. A trust is confidential. It moves your assets before you pass so that it stays out of probate, and it also ensures that they get to where you want it to go in a smooth way without an extra burden on your family. If you have more questions about trusts versus wills, we'd be happy to help you. We love talking to people and helping answer questions.